Hello and welcome, fellow Wasteland survivors. I'm Dean. Thanks for stopping in for part 5 of our basic introduction on how to build circular or curved structures in our settlements. Now, once again, before we start, I really need to let you guys know the tips and tricks that we're going to see in today's video are extremely advanced. And you might want to consider going and watching the other videos in this series first. By doing so, they will help you better understand the advanced demonstrations that we're going to be seeing today in today's video. Now, part 5 is a continuation of part 4. Because it went so long when I made the recording, we actually split it in half. In our last video, we saw how to lay the floor out, and we'll continue doing that today, and we'll have half our circle built. We're also going to add in some walls, and we'll do different kinds of walls. So let's get started. Okay, now that we've got it all laid in, the bad weather is through, we've also got another night taken care of, we can get started again. Alright, now this is the next thing that we're going to want to do. This is actually the first floor where we started. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the tip that we saw in the last video, and we are going to place carpets under them. But we're going to start right here, and we're going to marker every other one around. And we'll do this one. We will do this one. Okay, now we'll come back. This is where we started. We got to miss one. We'll put a marker there. We'll miss one and put a marker there. Now we'll take these floors up that have the markers on them. And now we'll drop some carpets on there. Once again, I'll choose this one that's a little bit thicker, or I feel it's a little thicker. I don't know if it really is or not. And we'll just place them right in front where the other floorboard needs to go in, the other marker. There we go. Now we'll go back to our vanilla floors. We'll get out some more of the quarter floors and we'll mark these. Back again. Wrong one, Bones. There we go. Okay, now this is what we're going to do. We're going to mark the next floors. Instead of the ones that we have marked right now, the ones that are sitting flush, that doesn't have the carpets under it, we're going to mark the other floors. We'll just move these over to each side, and that should be good to go. Now we'll take these floors up, or these markers, and now what we're going to do is actually add in some barn floors. Also, in case you guys are not familiar with these floors, they sometimes don't like to snap. And it's usually on the side that's straight. See how these floorboards are going side to side, left and right? Sometimes other floor, even other barn floors, will not snap to that. And I don't know why. Now, it is right now, but sometimes it doesn't. So we're going to spin it this way, and then we'll make sure it does snap to that. And maybe I've got it backwards. Okay, I've got it backwards. See how it's just not snapping to that? I don't know why it does that. So I changed my mind, and it's the floorboards when they're running straight forward and backwards that it doesn't like to snap. So we'll go and change every one of those in the right direction. That way we don't have a snapping issue with the other floors that are going to be going on. Okay, now we can go ahead and take all of our markers up. And what we've basically got, and there's a reason why I did this. Now, we won't explain it in this video, but in the next video it will become very important. So remember that, ladies and gentlemen. The first vanilla floor has a carpet under it. Then we have a barn floor. Another vanilla floor with a carpet under it, a barn floor. Another vanilla floor with a carpet, another barn floor, and so on all the way around. Now, this is the next thing that we have to do. Because these floors are setting down into the carpet, we have to click on it, select it, let it pop up, and then place it back down. Also, the barn floors are thicker. So when we place them onto the vanilla floorboards to mark them, they're actually penetrating down into the floor. So we got to click on that floor too, and you can see it popped up. And we got to go around to every one of these and select it, let it pop up, and then place it back down. Now be careful that you don't move while you're doing this, or it will throw it off. So make sure you come to a complete stop before you select or place the floor back down again. Okay, since you want to be a pain in the butt, we'll put one there, and now, oh, I'll bet you're still going to want to snap, so let's just do that. Alright, there we go. Alright, now we can place our floor in just like we did in the last video, using the barn floors to get a little higher than the other floor. Now, once again, this vanilla floor is up higher because of a specific reason, and we're going to see that in the next video. So the only difference compared to what we did in the last video is every other floor has a carpet, and we've got a barn floor just setting on the floor regular. So let's go ahead and place our floors in and see if we can get them all to... Oh, okay, thank you for not snapping. And we'll see if we can get them all laid into one another here. Did I get these ones off? I must have put these ones on the other side for some reason. Oh, there it was. But it's the wrong side of the floor. Let's spin it around. Spin that one around. There we go. Now, I normally keep our markers all on the same side of the floor. But as you can see right here, we've changed. They're on the right side. This one's on the right side, but these are on the left side of the board. So hopefully, or on the floor. So hopefully that didn't confuse everybody on doing that. Now, because of the way that we've done this, we have an actual perfect floor in here, integrated into each other. Each floorboard is integrated into one another, and it's completely flat. Now all we'd have to do is repeat this process on this other back side, and because of the way that we measured this out, they will match up completely perfect. Also, we're going to see in the next video how we place the last floor in. And as a brief description of what I mean, that floor will actually not go in because it's penetrating two objects at one time. You can get one object to penetrate into a second, but if you add a third object to it, so in other words, let's say we're done. And this is the last floor to place in. we wouldn't be able to actually get it in. And here, I'll tell you what, let's just go ahead and marker this. We actually need to get our carpets picked up. And this is just a quick, I guess, demonstration of what I'm talking about, and we're going to see on the next video. And of course, it's going to do it for us. Well, anyways, when we get on the next video, we'll see if it works for us. If it doesn't, then I'll re-explain that over again. And let's get all of our carpets up. Oh, okay, nice job. That's why you always want to be careful when you're selecting objects that you don't take out the wrong one. If we would have took out a floor, we'd really be in bad shape. Alright, now, this is what we're going to do real quick to finish off this part of the video. I promised you guys I would show you a way to place other walls in other than the concrete block floor foundations. So what we're going to need to do this is actually go to the barn. Now, we could actually use the quarter floors to do it, but sometimes some of these other walls do not snap to these quarter floors. So that's why the barn floors make it really super easy to get this done. So we'll put a few of these around, and they're basically markers, just like the quarter floors were. Okay, now that we've got all of our markers in, and let's check them just to make sure they're all snapped in the correct spot. Now we can go ahead and take our floors up. Alright, now, because these other walls are a half of the thickness of a regular floor, in other words, they're as long as a floor, but they're only like, you know, the width of a quarter floor. They don't actually make one that's a full floor. So what we've got to do is we actually have to go back to the barn section, pull out another half of floor, and then another half of floor, and then we can take this one away. Now what we can do is we can snap excuse me, snap our new wall onto that barn floor that's right in front of us. And we're just going to use these floors right here as an example. Okay, now I can move this one over here. And let's see. You know what? We better leave our markers in just in case. So I will pull a few of these barn floors out, so that way we don't have to keep pulling them out. And we're not saving this save anyway, so burning up these extra resources are not going to hurt me. And there's our final one. There it is. Alright, great. Alright, now what we're going to want to do is take one and place it in front. We'll just set this over here. Alright, right there's fine. And you know what? We're going to have to actually take two out because we don't want it penetrating the other, or that piece as we're coming around. Now we'll go back to our walls and we'll place this wall in there. Well, if it'll let us. We might have to go down, or we might be getting hindered. Let's see here. Let's do this. Let's remarker all of our markers with regular floorboards. The vanilla, the quarter ones. We've got a whole bunch of those, so let's remark them back up. And we're good that way. This way we can get them out of the way. They may be hitting each other and because of that, we're, maybe having a problem. Alright, that ought to be good enough. Now let's see if we can get it to snap. There we go. And that's exactly what was the problem. Those floors were giving us a problem. So now we'll take this one, bring it forward. We'll take this one out. We'll put another floor in. And let's see. I think we're going to, yeah, let's just pull one from over here instead of swapping back and forth. Okay, now we'll just go ahead and put this one over here someplace out of the way. There we go. And we'll bring this one over, mark the front. Because these walls snap in the front, that is why we got to bring that half a floor to us. And then we'll go ahead and use one of these that are sitting right there. And let's use this one since it's right there. And now we'll use this one to mark the front of that. Basically what we're doing is, this is where our marker was at. We've got to go the half of distance that the wall is, and then we got to have another marker to snap the wall to it. If we could snap to the back of this wall, then we wouldn't need to do all of that. But we can't, so we've got to do all of that. We'll take these two up, and we'll go ahead and place this one in its place. Alright, now, what I'm going to do is we're going to actually switch to a different wall. I would like you guys to see that it really doesn't matter. You can pretty much do any of these walls that you would like to use, and that includes the ones in the metal category. And of course we use these excuse me, as our Star Trek build. And it doesn't matter if you use these really curved ones or the not so curved ones. Let's use the really curved ones. So we've got our marker that's in. We'll move this one over to give us our distance from the marker. We'll bring this one over. We'll place it on front. And now we've got something to snap our wall to. And you can see that thing is trying to snap everywhere. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We've got another wall. And we'll continue. Excuse me. We've got a lot of fires going on around here. And the air is just full of smoke. Makes it almost impossible to breathe. Okay, now see, this is a good example of what I'm talking about, where a piece has to penetrate three pieces, or three objects. We've got one right here, that's our floor, our wall, and then we've got another one that's right here. Because of that, these objects don't like to penetrate into one another. Also, there could be the reason because this side is as high as this side, or as low. And they might be matching up, which would not let us snap that in as well. So we'll just pull that one over. We'll take this one out. We'll take this one out, and we'll place another metal wall in. We will bring this one over. Bring this one over. Take this one out. Do we have one more to do? Yeah, but we've got a couple of floors out. So we'll take that marker out, and then we will add another wall in. Let's add that marker. This marker. Take the first middle one out. Oh, do I got a? Okay, I do got a marker. I almost like. Do I got a marker? And there we go. Now we've got all of our walls integrated into each other. They're seamless. We don't have any gaps in between them. And they look pretty cool. Also, what's really awesome about this is we can actually snap roofs back onto this. And we'll go with this flat one right here. And even though they are, okay, that one's not wanting to go. Maybe, I don't know why, but it's not wanting to go in there. We might have to do a little adjustment or two right there. Let's see if we can... Oh, you know what? It's not wanting to snap onto the piece. So what we would actually have to do, build order, is take this one out, put our roof in. Put this one back in, put the roof on it, take this one out before we put the roof on, and so on around the corner. Now, if this is a pretty tight circle, and that could be why. Also, if we notice up at the top, it looks like maybe these three objects would actually be colliding with one another. And that would maybe make it impossible for us to actually snap a ceiling in after we've done two. So, for instance, let's move this one over here. Yeah, and it won't go in. So that's exactly what the problem is. Because this ceiling right here is passing more than 50% of this other ceiling, the one that we're wanting to add in would actually be colliding with that, and that's why we can't put it in. But in the next video, we're going to see how we can actually do this, and we'll use floors to do it. We could actually use probably the upper shack floors. So that way, if you were placing beds in here, you would get your settlement happiness up because you got your bed under a roof. And we all know that you got to have a roof to keep your settlers happy. Without one, your settlement happiness will drop or decrease because of it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry that this video took so long. We had a lot of information to cover, and it takes as long as it takes to get it all explained so that, you know, everybody can fully understand these basics of how, you know, it works creating these circular and curved structures. Okay, now for the next video, we're going to actually complete this build all the way around and connect it together. We're also going to take a look at a couple of ways that we can actually put the floor in, and one of them will be seamless. We'll be able to match it right up with the floor, and it won't be lower or higher. So I hope I see you guys for that video. Alright everybody, thank you very much for coming, hanging out with me today. I really do appreciate it. And just like always, until next time, please stay safe and peace.